Today we're going to do something a little bit different, but a little bit of the same, kind of, you know what I mean? You know, I kind of took this idea and I'm just going to kind of fly with it. Guys, today I'm starting a new series. I have not yet got it named. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to name it, but what this is the newer palettes coming out. And, you know, as smaller YouTubers, some of us cannot afford every single new palette that comes out. So I thought it would be fun to dupe the palettes and then do a look with those dupe shades. So the palette that we are duping today is, I had to do it, guys. It is a warm tone palette. I am a warm tone kind of gal. It is the Jaclyn Vault collection. I took the Ring the Alarm palette and I duped it and we got this look. So if you want to see how to get this look, just keep watching. Hey everybody, how are my Glow Tarts doing today? I hope everybody's well, and for those of you that are new, my name is Mandy. Welcome to the video. Alright guys, so I've already made it a long ass intro, and I told you exactly what I'm doing. I'm duping new palettes, and I'm going to turn this into a series where I do a tutorial and I dupe newer palettes that are out that I can't afford to get, but I'm still going to dupe them just by looks. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So the first one we are duping is the Jaclyn Vault collection, but we're only doing one of the palettes today. We'll get to the rest of the palettes, believe me. But the first palette I am duping is the Ring the Alarm palette. So guys, I don't know what kind of look we're doing. I'm kind of going in this blind, but I do have the shades picked out that I think would match, would be a good dupe for the shades in that palette just by eyeing it. So let's jump into the tutorial. Alright guys, so the first shade that is in the Ring My Alarm palette is a shade called Lolly. Now this is a pink shimmer color and it looked oddly familiar. If you don't remember, you know, finding all these dupes, most of them I found in her old palette, her first palette out, which I use this almost daily. I mean, I love it. It's always got a shade that I can use. So Lolly is a pink shimmer. It looked oddly familiar to the shade Sissy in her first palette. Guys, now the second shade in the Jaclyn palette is a matte orange shade. I believe the name of it is Rush. It is a very beautiful shade. I have paired that with this Milani. This is the Milani Earthy Elements Everyday Eyes eyeshadow palette. The orange in here looks strikingly identical to the shade Rush in her palette. This is the shade On Camera. Now, from her description, from the pictures, I know it's a shimmer shade, but it looks like a metallic gold. It also looks like the same gold in her first palette. This is the shade Queen. Okay, now if it does not give us that pop like hers did, I do have another dupe for it because it does also look like this one. This is the Blinc and BoxyCharm palette. Now these are all shimmers in this, and this is the gold. Now I don't think these have names, do they? Oh my god, they got names. Altoony, I don't know. I'll put it right here, but it does, guys, I just broke it. Oh my god, I thought I heard something fly across the room. If it doesn't give us that pop, this one will, because it does also look like that shade. I think these are some beautiful shades. I can't believe I broke my palette, guys. Shade Alert is a matte pumpkin orange is how she describes it, and by her description and looking at the swatches and the pictures of it online, it looks more like a burnt orange to me. I have duped that with the shade Real Gar in the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Modern Renaissance palette, and I swear that looks just like Real Gar, so that's what we got that paired with. Now the color Siren, it is a satin shade, so it is in between a matte and a shimmer color. So I have got the perfect fix for this. Now it looks like a very deep dark plum, just like another shade that's in this palette we'll talk about in a minute, but it does have shimmer in it. It is a shimmer shade. Well, she calls it a satin. It looks like shimmer to me. Who knows? But we are going to take the shade Royalty, and we are going to take the deep dark plum, matte plum, that we're using to do it with somewhere else on, well, we'll talk about it in a minute. So I'm going to mix Royalty with this shade in the Wet n Wild All Natural Nude Awakening palette. And bam, we got that shade. Now the next shade is called Mugshot. Now this is one of Jaclyn's favorite colors, which I don't blame her because I love this color too. Now this is a pukey yellow brown matte is how she described it. I thought it looked more like a beautiful chocolatey brown. And of course we could find one of those in her other palette. And it does look identical. Is actually the shade Pukey right here is almost exact. Almost. Guys, the next shade is called Framed. Now this is a matte shade and it is a very deep dark plum. Found the perfect match. The Wet n Wild All Natural. This is the Nude Awakening palette. Now, the color that I duped with that is actually the plum, dark plum shade that is in this palette right there. There is your match for that shade. The last shade in that palette is called Secret, also a matte color, and it is a very deep, dark brown shade, which, of course, we do also have. It's just like Central Park in her first palette. Right there. So even though I cannot use every single shade that I duped, I did want to show you that I did dupe the palette and we are only going to be using the shades that I duped it with. So guys, let's go ahead and dig into the look. So I did go ahead and prime my eyes so they are all ready to go. Now again, I told y'all this in my last tutorial that I've done. I have been doing something kind of new here lately where I have not been setting my primer, at least if it leaves that like flawless feel to the finish. And yes, I still got bronzer all over my hands, my arms, and everywhere. It's still on there. It's still sticking around, hanging around. Hey, how you doing? It ain't going nowhere. It's still here. So I have not set my primer, but we're going to go ahead. Again, I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's the primer I'm using. I will show you what primer I'm using. Benefit Stay Don't Stray light to medium eyelid primer. Now, I don't know if it's the primer I'm using or what, but I have been absolutely loving not setting it and just priming my eyes and letting it sit for a couple of minutes to dry and just going straight in with the eyeshadows. I feel like it's making them pop like a lot brighter and going on smoother and just more flawless. I don't know why. It might be the primer because I have not tried it with another primer. So I'm assuming it's the primer. So let's go ahead and start this look. Now, I am going to go in with one of those oranges that let's go in with the matte mustardy yellow one that she has, like the Pukey brown, which would be Mugshot in her palette. But the one we're duping it with is Pukey in actually her first palette. So Pukey is right there. So we are going to take the shade Pukey and go in with that. Of course, let's get our blending brush. Now, I think this is such a beautiful shade, guys. It is so gorgeous. But do you see, I don't know how good y'all could see on camera, but like how more the eyeshadow is going on since I haven't been setting them. And I love it. Like, it's just gorgeous. So this, again, what I say it was called? Mugshot. This would be the shade Mugshot in her palette. And if y'all do have y'all's palette, of course you could do this look just easy. Y'all don't have to do that. So I am just going to blend these out. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do a cut crease today or not. I really haven't been feeling a lot of cut creases lately for some reason. So I am just going to blend the edges of this. This is used for our transition color. Alright guys, so the next shade that I'm going to go in with is, I got to get these two oranges in this look. Okay, so the first one, it would be in her palette, would be Rush, I believe. I believe it's Rush in her palette, which is the matte colored orange. And that looks more like a pumpkin orange than the one she described as a pumpkin orange for some reason. And that is the one that I paired with in the Milani palette. Well, if she wants to show you today, who knows. But that is the shade I want to put into my crease because I love it. I love it. So I'm going to take the dirtiest brush that I got. That's going to go right into our crease. Now this is going to be like, it's just going to amp up the transition shade. That is exactly what this color is going to do. I could already see it. And I'm just going to go all the way across with it. And it's just going to kind of deepen our crease just a little bit with that orangey fall. I cannot wait till fall Oh my gosh, guys, I love fall. I love makeup in the fall. I love the weather. I love the look of it. I love everything about fall. That is my favorite season. You know, why are we not doing just a traditional Jaclyn Hill look? I think maybe I ought to go for that and just start digging into these cranberries and plums and burgundies and all that. So we are just running that shade right through our crease. Of course, I'm going to take my blending brush and blend the edges again because every single time I'm a blending biatch. Trust me, every color I lay, I blend right after. Right after. Now, the next shade, I'm going to go in with Real Gar. That is in the ABH palette, which in her palette would be called Alert. So we're going to alert this into our crease with a little bit thinner brush. As this is a dark, deep shade. I love it. I love it. I don't know if I want to go this small. I think we'll go here. Yeah. So, Real Gar, oh my gosh, this is the shade of shades still. Oh my god. Now, if her palette is anything like this, it's going to be gorgeous. Now, I kind of just want to go on the lid and everything with this because I have an idea of what I'm going to do. Oh man, do y'all see this? How could you not love makeup? But this is going to look, this is so warm, it screams fall to me. This is screaming fall to me, really it is. So I'm going to take some of Real Gar, which would be Alert in her palette, and I'm going to run it on my lid. Because I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm really going to do it or not, but I'm still going to put it on the lid. And you know the game, girl. We're going to blend the edges. Blend those edges. Alright, now, guys, I'm going to take one of the matte plum that is in the shade Framed in her palette. Is the deep dark matte. Well, it's actually a satin plum. And that is what I paired with the Wet n Wild Nude Awakening palette right here. So we're going to take this shade. I don't think, yeah, no, these have no names. And I'm going to take one of my thin brushes. This is one of my really thin brushes because I'm not sure if I want to run it all the way across or not. I think I'm going to judge that by the time I get it in here. Because I want it kind of low. But I do still want it in here. Because I don't know if I want to take that deep dark brown or what I'm going to do with that. Let's just see. Guys, I think I'm just going to keep this one on the outside. We're just going to keep this on the outer V just to deepen it up. And I think I might take a smaller brush to deepen up the crease a little bit with this shade, but not much. So I mainly want to focus this right out there on this outer V. And I want to drag it kind of low. Man, this is such a beautiful shade. It really is. And it's just, these are such vibe. Like fall looks for me. Now what I want to do is I want to take that copper, that absolutely gorgeous, stunning, drool over copper that she put on her arm that I fell in love with. And I was already in love with it because this shade already exists. And it is called Firework in her first palette. Beautiful copper shade, guys. God, it's beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to take that color first and see if it'll go over the lid without concealer. Let's see if we can do this without concealer. Then, so I'm out of Fix Plus, but this LA Color setting spray is just gorgeous. So we're going to spritz her down just a little bit because I am not going to use concealer. And we are going to take this shade and see. I mean, the girl does make some awesome eyeshadows, and I really wish I could get this palette right now, but, you know, like, I've got bills. Like, it's either that or the lights, so, I mean, and if I lived here by myself, if I didn't have kids, I'd be wearing makeup, but I wouldn't have lights, so. Now I am going to drag this with my finger. I always feel like I get just more pigment with my finger. And it is definitely, the majority of it's going on the inner lid right here. Kind of like a half cut crease, but I didn't cut a crease. But then I'm going to drag it all the way across the lid. Once I got just the minimal on my finger is when I'm going to drag it right there on the end. Back in with my brush, spray it and straighten it out a little bit. But this is an iconic Jaclyn Hill look right here, I think, because girl and her coppers, let me tell you. Okay, so once we got that in there, and let me clean up my crease just a little bit. I just take a brush and just kind of run it through that crease, just to give it that cut crease effect without there being no crease actually cut out with concealer. I'm going to actually take one of my little e.l.f. dense brush things, and I'm going to go back in with that deep dark plum. Definitely going to deepen the outer V right here, and I'm not trying to pull this up in my crease without pulling it in the crease, because I'm going to go in with a different brush to kind of run it through the crease. So I'm just going to kind of pack it on that outer V. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another brush and dip just the tip of it in that plum and kind of still pack it on there. And then once I get less product on there is when I'm going to run it through the crease. Just to deep darken it up just slightly, and then pack some, like where the shimmer meets the outer color right there. I'm going to pack it right on there just to kind of blur the lines, if you know what I mean. If that makes any sense. So we're going to pack that over the line to blur the line between it and our dark shade on the outer V. And then we're going to run through our crease, make sure everything's motivated and going strong there. That gold, that gold, that gold, that gold though. God, I got to use it. What we're going to do is we're going to take the gold, which is, I've got to use the one in the Blinc and BoxyCharm palette, and it is the shade Altony or something. I will write it, but it is this shade right there, right here. We are going to take that and put that like right here on our inner corner because I just love it. Oh my God. Now, you could just dab some in the middle, but why do that? So we are just going to run that right through our inner. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Y'all see how strong this goes on with your finger? What Fix Plus? What? What's that? After we get that on our inner corner, we're just kind of going to blur the lines, if that makes sense. Again, because I had to, guys. I had to use that gold, and it just looks so good with that copper. I mean, that is an iconic Jaclyn Hill look, and that is, after all, that's what we're going for, so that's what we're doing. So, and what I do, because I'm not very bright sometimes, and I forget my tape, or I do my foundation before my eyes, and y'all know how that goes. It is Fallout City. So I just kind of wet the, like, you know what I mean. You wet the lines. Wet the lines. But I think she's looking pretty good, guys. But I've got to have something for my brow bone highlight. I got to have something for it. And was there a shade in there? I don't remember there being a shade in there. She has not got a shade in there where we can highlight our brow bones or our inner corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that pink shimmer shade that she has got in there. Now that would be Lolly in her palette. And I said that that is a dupe for her shade in her first palette, shade Sissy. Now, usually this is kind of too dark to highlight with, especially on my skin tone. If your skin tone is darker than mine, you might be able to pull a shade like that off for a highlight. But on my skin tone, this is going to look really crazy as a highlight. But, well, I don't know, guys. I mean, it's working. But it's still dark. I can see it. It's just dark. But seeing as to how I can't, we're not using nothing else but the dupe shades. So I'm going to have to stick with it. And I'm going to have to use that for our inner corner highlight too. So, but guys, you know what? We're playing with makeup anyway, so we could do that. Now what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and do our lower lash line. Of course, you know what I'm going to do. No, why should we? I was going to take like a bright pop of color and put it on the lower lash line, but in the palette, there's not really a shade to do that with. So I'm just going to go in with a deep plum shade. So this is what we're going to do. We have no choice because there's not really a pop of color we could do on our lower lash line. But I think this is just as fun, and I know this looks like an ultra fall look, which I can't wait for fall, guys. I really can't. I think that is the best makeup season in the whole wide. That don't even make sense, but it's the best color season in the world.
Did you write?
So what we are going to do, since I've already got plum or that plummy shade on, now I'm going to take another color to go ahead and blend that out. But I want to take the orange because I think orange just belongs down there. Real Gar and the ABH palette. Now I'm telling you what, if her palettes that she just put out, if they are anything like her first palette, I mean, the girl she's really good at this. But again, there are a lot of the shades in there you could already dupe with the shades in her first palette. I mean, there's 35 shades there. And I can't tell you how many shades is in the 4 palettes she just put out, but I'll write it somewhere up here. But I love oranges and purples together, especially in the fall. This is so fall-y. So we're just going to run this on our lower lash line. We have got to go in with that pink shade again, and it is the shade Lolly in her palette, and which we have duped with the shade Sissy in her first palette, and that is what we are going to have to highlight with, guys. Now, I know this is just making a look really, I don't want to say retarded. I can't say retarded on here. This is way too dark for my skin tone to highlight with, but I have no choice. There's not really a choice because there's not a light shade to highlight with. Now, I believe every palette, and I don't care if it's a bulk collection, because she sells these. You could either buy all 4 of the palettes, or you could buy them one at a time. Now, if somebody ends up with this one palette, and they just have one palette, what are they going to highlight with? If you're my skin tone or whatever, what are you going to highlight with? I mean, there should at least be one highlight shade in every one of the palettes. And this pink, it's a little bit too dark. I mean, it shimmers, it shines when you turn your head, but it's dark. It's still darkening up the area where you want to highlight. Guys, I am going to finish the rest of my stuff off of camera because, well, what else can I do with the palette? But I think this is an iconic Jaclyn Hill look, if I did get it, if I don't say so myself. So I will be right back. Guys, that is it. This is the finished look. Of course, it is a Jaclyn icon look. If you notice the copper, the golds, the plums, the burgundies, the fall vibes. But again, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And again, I want to put this into a series. I want to make this a series. I want to dupe palettes that I cannot afford to get. And I know some of my fellow YouTubers will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I thought it was really fun to go through and try to find dupes for the shades that we are just looking at online. Just by swatches, just by description, just by looking at it. And then having a look come out just like this. I think this is a really gorgeous look. And I really do think Jaclyn Hill does use a lot of the burgundies and plums and golds and coppers. She is the copper queen. So I do think the look come out beautiful. And I hope it was easy enough for beginners to kind of just pick up and take off with without having any problems. So I figured I would go for an easy look. I can't tell you exactly this is natural because there's nothing natural about makeup, but I could have went heavier. I could have went heavier. So anyways, guys, and again, if you have an idea of what I could call this series, if I haven't already named it, I'm not sure. Probably not. But if you have any ideas for the name of the series, go ahead and put it down in the comment section. Remember, if you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and become part of the Glow Tart family. We would love to have you. And I love you guys so, so much. And I will see you next video. Bye, guys. Oh, I am so fucking lost right now.